Hello, my name is Seb, and welcome to Jump Inside Games. Today, we're going to be playing on the game, The Sons of the Forest. It's going to be a really interesting game. I'm not sure if this game is exactly the best game in the world, but, you know, we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. Tell me what you think about this at the end of the video. Write down in the comments, but let's go with this game. It's an interesting one, because I absolutely love the previous one. The previous game, The Forest, absolutely amazing. This game, I'm iffy on, but we'll cover that in the video. Let's begin. Okay, so in this review, I just want to cover the fact that we record mainly the first 2 hours of a video game. So everything you see in this review is going to be based around the first 2 hours of the game. And also, I'm going to rate this game at the end. So, you know, hopefully this game can pull off some good things. But let's cover what we've got. So, starting off, the companion, the big thing in this game. Yes, when you land, when you go on to this island, when you eventually arrive at this island, the first immediate thing that you're going to find out is that you have a companion. You shine a torch into his eyes just to, as you help him recover, but I think he can't hear, so you have to write things down on paper, which is what we're doing. But it's super weird. There's no characteristics. He's basically brain dead, and he does certain things. He collects things. I don't know what this is trying to be. I feel like what they're trying to do is saying if you're playing this game as a single player, you can still play this game. Yeehaw! And still have the experience of having a co-op companion. I don't like this at all. This takes away from that experience of wanting to build stuff yourself. There was a lot of time period in this game where I wanted to build a house, and I had the option of getting the companion to do it. It wasn't difficult. So my preference is, do we need a companion in this game? I don't think so. So, yeah, negative points, that's my own personal favour. I get what he's used for, but I just don't think he's absolutely necessary. I feel it's just a bit too weird to add him into the game. I don't know, what are your thoughts about this? But moving on to the next thing. And we can't talk about the forest without talking about the enemy. And the enemy are weird. They're very, very odd. Basically, you'll first encounter your enemies crawling around through the ground on this game as you walk around, and you'll see these crawling around monkey humans. I want to say monkey humans because they kind of look like monkeys, but then they kind of if they were standing, you could probably look at them and think they're humans. But yeah, they're a bit odd. And they will crawl up and they will try to attack you. And now, normally, what I expected is that they wouldn't attack me straight away in this game. But after a bit of traveling, no, they attack you. I thought there was a bit of time period between the attack and you setting up camp. But but the moment I decided to have a little stroll along some of the open areas of this game, I was attacked immediately. And if you get attacked twice in this game, you basically die if you regenerate within a short amount of period in this game. So no, being attacked isn't fun, and I thought the enemy could be a bit more creative. You know, it's not something that I like in this game. I didn't very much enjoy the enemies in this game compared to the last game. Whereas the last game, the first time you would experience anything about the enemy would be going into a camp and seeing loads of camp stuff about. But no, this one, it was very much about you know, the enemy would just crawl around in the forest and try to attack you at random, and I just feel like it was too random. It wasn't quite my style. But anyway, moving on to the next piece. And of course, the next bit that I'm gonna kind of really grasp on. This is something I like, by the way. The crafting system, very nicely done. They've condensed it down into a booklet, and the layout of seeing all your stuff is now a very better experience. You can now look around when you go into your crafting section. You can actually take a look around and you can see stuff. I haven't actually got right into the next of crafting, but it looks like a better system than the previous. The previous was just on a flat mat. This one, it's a bigger map. It's more spread out. It feels like it's more organized. It looks a lot better. And yeah, it's a really cool way of navigating through all the items that you have available to you. And the building mechanics are, again, they're inside this book. You get to choose what type of structure you want. It's a lot more simpler than the previous. It's a lot more understandable, but it's also a lot more advanced, and I absolutely like it. One thing I couldn't find was building a barricaded fence, so I wasn't able to build that. But and I don't know if it's in the game or not, but maybe check out, I'd say, if you had to check out anything about this game, probably check out the crafting system and the building section, because that's probably going to help you out a lot more. But from my point of angle, I couldn't locate it very easily. So yeah, I'm gonna give that kind of like a point there, but I'm not too sure exactly where if I like the crafting system in this game or not. I haven't fully decided it. I like the mat system, but whether it's the actual crafting buildings might be a bit more tricky at first. But yeah, I'm sure it's got some really cool stuff in, and yeah, it looks really. It looks good. It looks good. It feels easy to use, right? So yeah, that's the crafting system. Moving on to the next bit, which is, and I will go to the last bit right now. This is the environment of the game, and the environment for me was absolutely fantastic. The way you navigate through a map, the way the graphics look, the environment was great. I loved the water. It feels like a forest, which is a much improvement compared to, actually, not both games felt like forests. And yeah, I think the way that some of this stuff actually feels and works, it feels a lot better than the last game. In this game, when you chop down a tree, you can see the chunks as you chop down a tree. This is something that I really, really like in this game. Some of the actions in this game and all that kind of stuff that go with the environment, it works. The game feels a lot better because of it. I kind of want to sum everything off in the environment, because the environment, the way you edit it and you live in it, it feels really nice. I absolutely love the environment, and the environment for me definitely gets the full-on the best marks of this game. This game world is better, 100%. It feels better. I've never seen a better log chop down than this game for a long time. So I mean, the last thing we were all used to was chopping down and making a cut through a tree. This one, you can clearly see the chunks coming out of it, and I absolutely love that. So yeah, the environment is brilliant. I do want to clarify though, the story of this game. You start off in a chopper and you go down to the game world by crash landing, and you're dumped in a forest with the only mission is to look for certain people on the map. That's it. That's pretty much the story right there. Now, there's probably a lot more to this, but at the beginning, there's literally not really any story. It's survival in a forest. That's all the game is. It's survival in a forest. There is nothing more than that in this game than I've see as you start out in this game. So it's going to take a while for you to feel like that this place is your home, that you have purpose here. It's going to feel very much like you've crash landed and you're actually lost in the forest. So, you know, that makes sense in such. But yeah, that is pretty much the game, and I will cover some end bits for you right now. So starting off with pricing. The game is set at a very good price. It's set as a very cheap and reasonable price compared to most games out there at the moment, and for what you're getting, this is a very good price for something to kickstart its game out. This game price is at £25. I think that's around $30. So it's not your £60 game or your $70 game. No, this comes at a nice, reasonable price. I think that what it offers for the sequel, I think that is exactly the perfect price that I would recommend a game like this to be at. So I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 for pricing. Next, we'll start with the gameplay, and the gameplay is absolutely super annoying when you start off, but as you continue and you get better at it, it's gonna get a little bit better, especially on the mechanics of being able to chop down trees and to craft things. The gameplay feels and looks a lot better. So I'm going to give the gameplay, and the controls for it was very easy to use. So I'm going to give the gameplay I'm going to give it, because it's not the best and most easiest game with controls, but I'm going to give it, for what it offers, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, because I think that's the correct thing. I think there are games out there with better gameplay, but for what it offers, I think it's nice. I think it's good. I feel like your character does get tired a bit too quickly in this game, so I think if you extended that, I'd probably make it go up a little bit more. But yeah, without going to any neck of the woods, I'm going to give it basically a nice 8 out of 10 for gameplay. Next is the story, and for the story, I'm going to say I didn't really see a story in there at all, apart from seeing something right at the beginning of the helicopter scenes. So I'm going to give the story, and I'm so sorry for this, I'm only going to give it a 1 out of 10, because when you get into the forest, there's not really a story majorly there going on. I mean, you have to kind of like survive in the forest first, which is great because it gives the gameplay, you know, it's brilliant, it's lovely, it gives the gameplay points. But for the story, I'm only going to give it a 1 because there's nothing really there. And for the graphics are good. The graphics are really nice. They're not the best graphics. They're not your Star Citizen graphics. They're not your Tin Can type graphics, which I absolutely love. Tin Can is probably the best graphical game I've played with in the past year. But other than that, I don't think these graphics sum up to that level. Is it better than other games? 100%. This game is very nice on graphics. So I am going to give it a very solid 9 out of 10 for graphics. I think what you're getting for that price is pretty darn good. So yeah, I'm going to give the graphics a 9 out of 10. I don't think they're the best, but I think they're right up there. They're right up to the standards that they should be. So yes, in total, with 28 out of 40, which comes to a very clear 7 out of 10. It's a good game, and it just about makes that jump inside recommendation mark. But I don't think it's going to be the best game ever. I think there are lots of better games that come above this. So if you were to get a game, I'd suggest loads of other games over this game. But this game is still very good. If you're into the forest, this is definitely worth a check out. This comes in the same section as Greenhouse. So if you're into that survival mechanical gameplay, this is definitely something worth checking out. Other than that, I've been Seb. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on another Jump Inside video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.